Okay, I'm going to do a series of videos because even though there's only going to be like 5 people who see this because I'm nobody, um, I really want people to understand something fundamental, which is that the CDC is not a reliable source of information when it comes to vaccines for children, especially. The CDC is not a reliable source of information, and we should not use the CDC website to get people information on vaccines. They recently published yet another drama on July 22nd, 2026, saying that vaccines, um, that that you can't say that that vaccines don't cause autism, and their story is very flimsy. I would say there is no evidence that vaccines are associated with autism, and the one study that was published a long time ago has been refuted. The person made up the data. They had an agenda. They do not like vaccines, and they made up data, published it, found out that they were fraudulent. They were found out for being fraudulent, and then those papers got removed from the scientific literature. But that's where the whole idea came from this fraudulent thing. And I do think that that person, Andrew Wakefield, knew that once the sort of cat was out of the bag, once we were thinking that, oh, maybe vaccines do cause autism, that you wouldn't be able to put it back in, so to speak. You wouldn't be able to remove that thought from people's minds. And people have been sort of fueling the fire of that for forever. Now, anti-vaccination ideas, thoughts are not new. They've been around since vaccines were first being developed. And so being anti-vaccine is not a new thing. What is dangerous is that websites like the Center for Disease Control, the CDC website of the US, are seen as international sources of solid scientific health information. So what's there is considered by a lot of people to be a trusted source of scientific, high quality information on public health related topics. And so what I want people to know is that the CDC is not a reliable source for anything that has to do with vaccines because there are politicians that are involved with that. So if you are, especially coming from another country, so I'm a global health pediatrician, and I feel very strongly about this, but if you have ideas that that you can go to the CDC website to find information about vaccines and you're coming in from another country just to get that information from a reliable source, it is not a reliable source currently for vaccine information because of the political situation. You may not be up to speed on the political situation because you're in another country and you have your own politics and other news stories to follow. But just so you know, the CDC is not a reliable source and it is very politicized right now. And if you want really good information on vaccines, immunizations, especially childhood vaccines, please go to the American Academy of Pediatrics for reliable, high quality scientific information.